Hi, this is Daniela Cambone, and welcome back to StansberryInvestor.com. Last year, when most investors were watching their stocks plummet, one Wall Street legend had an unfair advantage that was identifying winning stocks with massive upside, like Riot Blockchain before it shot up 10,000%, Digital Turbine before it shot up 789%, and Overstock before it shot up over 1,000%. This power gauge comes from the legendary Mark Chaikin. And right now you can get a free in-depth look at how his power gauge system works. A way to type in any of the 4,000 different tickers and see exactly where the stock is most likely to go next and in any type of market. Simply go to powergaugetrial.com for your free look. Again, that's powergaugetrial.com for your free look. All right, let's get to our segment today. Hi, this is Daniela Cambone. Welcome back to StansberryInvestor.com. We are continuing with our Outlook 2022 series as we wind down 2021 here. So I said, hey, we got to go out with a bang. Who do I got to call? There's only one man, Gerald Celente, editor of the Trends Journal and publisher. Please welcome him back, folks. Gerald, always nice to see you. Thank you for joining me.
Always great being on with you. Thank you so much for having me.
There's no party without you, Gerald. So I got to ring in the new year with you by my side here. We're going to talk a lot of stuff here today. Emerging markets, the Fed, gold, and of course, your top trends for 2022. And you are suggesting this outlook may be worse than last year's. I didn't think it could get any worse last year, but you're now telling me brace for impact.
Oh, yeah. You go back to 2020 when it all began. I'm the governor, I'm the mayor, I'm the senator, I'm the chancellor, I'm the premier, I'm the president, lock down everything. We're going to flatten the curve. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was only 20 months ago? You flattened nothing. You destroyed a load of businesses, lives and livelihoods all over the world. Oh, don't believe me. Look at the World Bank data. All the people have gone into poverty. Oh, yeah, look at the inflation rate skyrocketing. You flatten nothing. And now they're doing it again. And go back to 2020 and, oh, it'll come back. Oh, it'll come back. Oh, remember in 2020, by September 2020, after Labor Day, people would be going back into the offices? Oh, you forgot that one? Oh, let's go to 2021. Oh, remember people go back in the offices after Labor Day? Oh, yeah. What's the office occupancy rate over here in New York? That's about 30%. How about nationally? Oh, it's only 60% lower than it was before they started the COVID war in 2019. Oh, how about all the businesses that depend on commuters? Oh, you don't need any of that. Oh, the subway travel, it's only 40% of what it used to be. How about all the theaters? Oh, the neon lights shining bright on Broadway? No, we're closing them down again. Oh, a city that depends on tourism? Oh, all the international regulations on traveling overseas? Oh, America's travel, U.S. travel overseas from November 26th, the last data I looked at was December 9th, was down 77% from 2019 levels. Oh, it'll get better. It'll come back. And now they're locking down again. Name the country. Oh, you want to go to the Netherlands? I think we're going to do it in Germany. Hey, how about Austria? Hey, look at Italy. France. Keep going. How about Spain? Oh, we used to rely on tourism. No tourism allowed. Oh, Israel just announced recently that we don't want anybody coming in from anywhere.
I hear you. Just when there was a glimmer of hope taken away. But, you see the reports. And I'm interested to get your thoughts when a lot of these headlines suggest, well, this will be gone by 2024. I'm not sure how they're coming to terms with this estimate. Any thoughts there? I mean, how does this play out? Does it ever end, Gerald?
Again, let's look at the data. Go back to the week of December 20th, when the fear was spreading like crazy about Omicron.
Yeah.
You look at the 7-day average of deaths in the United States. Nobody talks about the deaths, only cases, because people are freaking out and getting tested. Oh, and what about, it's about half of the people are asymptomatic. But anyway, they don't talk about the deaths. So let's go back to the death rate of the coronavirus back in December 2020, on December 20th. I looked it up.
Okay.
I don't have the number exactly in front of me, but it was roughly around 2,400 and something died in a 7-day average. The 7-day average for December 20th, 2021, less than half, about 1,200 and something. How many people died of the Omicron so far around the world at, near the end of the month? 7? Oh, 7 people out of 8 billion. Oh, and what came out of South Africa where the virus was first concentrated? Oh, from the health minister that found it, and she became very angry when they started promoting it, that the symptoms are muscle aches and a few days of cold, and that was it. Again, the death rate isn't there, but the fear rate is. And as I say, they're making this up. They're making the data up in the sense that also they're saying that the amount of people that have been vaccinated is not accurate according to the CDC. But here I am. We're going to go into a restaurant. And when you go into a restaurant, you make sure that you wear that mask when you're walking into that restaurant. But when you sit down, you could take it off and eat and drink, because I'm a scientist and the virus does not go at table length. It only stays up here. They're making this crap up. Like when I was a little kid, that is hiding under a desk in case an atom bomb went off, like that was going to do any difference. Oh, when you're in an airplane, you can eat and drink without the mask on. But as soon as you stop eating and drinking, you put that mask on, because the virus knows when you're not eating and drinking. Oh, this mask, the mask that all these little political freaks wear. Oh, yeah, this. Here's the box. These masks do not eliminate exposure to the risk of any disease or infection. So when you say, when is it going to end? You have sociopaths, psychopaths, and pathological liars making this stuff up. We're going to flatten the curve. And again, who's dying? Oh, over in Europe, the average age was about 80 years old. Oh, in America, it's only 65 years of age, 75% of the people that died. And according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 78% of the people that have been hospitalized are either obese or overweight. You mean obese and overweight in America, where 42% of the people are obese and 70% are overweight and they eat crap all the time? You mean that really gets them sick when they get hit with something? 94% of the people that died of the virus, according to the CDC, had 2.6 pre-existing comorbidities. So anyway, it's madness. Like you can't imagine. And it's destroying the lives and livelihoods of hundreds of millions.
I feel your pain. We'll get back to it. Let's talk some money now. Let's talk money. I want to talk policy with you. You've written a lot about this. One of your other favorite topics, Gerald, and your other favorite people, the Federal Reserve.
Oh, yeah.
Now looking to, and they're in the midst of trying to fight the strongest inflationary environment since the 80s, gearing up to not just taper asset purchases, but start their interest rate hike scenario. But you've warned that an artificially low interest rate policy ending would create disaster for the global financial market. Don't they know this?
They do know it. That's why they were lying about inflation being a year ago. Oh, hey, I'm the Fed chair. It's only temporary. You're full of baloney, Celente. This isn't real interest rates. And that only went on until April. Then it became transitory. Oh, and also from Yellen, the other Fed head, that's the Treasury Secretary now. How corrupt could it be right in front of you? The Fed head is now U.S. Treasury Secretary, throwing out the same BS month after month after month. It's only temporary. And as you said, it's at the highest since 1982, but it's actually higher because they rigged the inflation numbers, as everybody on Stansberry knows. Oh, your housing prices went up 19%. No, that's not inflationary. Oh, you mean the meat prices went up? Oh, they're not eating steak now, they're eating beef. So no, that didn't go up either. The real inflation rate, according to John Williams' shadow stats, is about 15%. You actually have negative interest rates when you look at inflation. And the only reason the markets have gone up is all the cheap money they've pumped into it in the United States, in Japan, in the EU. All of this cheap money, merger and acquisition activity, all-time high. Stock buybacks, boom, hitting another boom. All the cheap money artificially threw this thing up. All the cheap money coming in from governments to artificially prop it up. Hey, here's your $600 a week. Stay home. Remember that one? So the whole thing has been artificial. My belief is when Fed rate hits 1.5%, this thing goes down hard, big, and the biggest crash in world history.
You're not the first person to warn about it, but here's the thing. They've been trying to avoid this crash for so long, sweating blood, sweat and tears, pumping money, right? Keeping a low interest rate environment to avoid that scenario. Why would they just release it now? Why would they give it up?
They have to, because of the inflation rate. And it's out of control. And if they keep these interest rates, again, this is what lying little people they are. These are the same fat-mouthed banksters that were BSing that, hey, when it hits 2%, we're going to raise interest rates. Hey, when it hits 2%, we're going to make that number up too. I think they made that one up around 2010, 2012. Oh, forget about the United States. How about over there in the European Central Bank with the other banks to Lagarde? Oh, yeah, what is the interest? Oh, the inflation rate's hitting. Oh, and Germany's now sinking possibly into a recession. The richest country in Europe. And they're still keeping interest rates into negative territory. This is criminality, because the only ones that are benefiting are the bigs. The bigs. Look again at the merger and acquisition activity. Every day, buying out, and the little people going out of business, and the bigs are getting bigger.
Let's go internationally now, Gerald. Offline, we were talking about the Turkish lira slide. How much longer can this go on for? Many investors are wondering, as we head into 2022, what will be the fate of the worst performing currency in emerging markets this year? How does this play out?
Again, look at it. Actually, Erdogan is doing just a little bit worse than the Feds are doing. He lowered interest rates while they kept them stagnant as inflation kept going up.
Yeah.
And Erdogan's belief is that you have to lower interest rates to spike the economy, which he's correct. But your lira is not worth anything now. Is it down almost 58% against the dollar? The real inflation rate is over 20%. Here's my greatest fear and why I feel the way I do as a trend forecaster. When all else fails, they take you to war. That gets your mind off things right away. And Erdogan has a very good track record of doing that. He does it. We're going to go after the Kurds again. Maybe we'll do something with Armenia and Azerbaijan again. Hey, how about Syria? Let's do something over there. Oh, and by the way, there was this other guy, another daddy's boy, born on third base and thought he had a home run. Would have been nobody, a little nothing of a boy, by the name of George W. Bush. Yeah, go back to before 9/11. Oh, the NASDAQ was only down 66%. Oh, the dot-com bust happened in March of 2000. And by the way, we had forecasted it in the Trends Journal on October 1999 that it would crash by the second quarter of 2000. The nation's in a deep recession. All of a sudden, 9/11, we're going to war against Afghanistan. 88% of the people followed it. They've created a fake market with the fake real estate boom. When all else fails, they take you to war. And my fear is that these psychopaths, sociopaths, and pathological liars will do it again. And by the way, I don't call it a government. By their deeds you shall know them. To me, it's a crime syndicate.
And to that point, I want to bring up Nancy Pelosi now before we get to your top trends of 2022. How's that as a segue? I'm sure you caught it, a recent news conference where she was asked whether it's okay that lawmakers participate in the stock market. She says, why not? It's a free country. There's nothing wrong with people who create the laws and regulations and know what's coming up to be invested in the stock market. And like I was telling you, AOC actually, speaking some sense here, saying, yeah, maybe it is an issue that the people who create the policies do not take part in the stock market. I mean, what did you make of Pelosi's comments there, Gerald?
Again, you use the word lawmaker. Yeah. And people call them dignitaries and officials. To me, those are curse words. Telling to somebody, F you, had enough of your crap, that's not a curse word in the proper situation. Calling these people lawmakers and officials and government authorities, that's profanity. As I said, it's a crime syndicate. Hey, the banksters are too big to fail. You're just a piece of garbage. I want to get rid of that guy, Assad. I don't like that guy, Gaddafi. I want Hussein out of there. They're murderers and thieves. Go beyond it. How about the Federal Reserve? You like that little boy Kaplan over there, the former Fed head down in Texas that was playing the markets, doing the insider trading for millions and millions of dollars before the Fed would announce what they were going to do? How about that little guy up there, that Rosengren with the Fed? How about him? Oh, we're going to retire now. I'm not feeling well. Yeah. And how about all the people in the government and in the crime syndicate called the United States government that are invested with the big pharma? And by the way, don't call them big pharma, call them what they are. They're drug dealers. Look at all of the people that are invested with them pushing the vaccinations. Oh, and there's another one. How about the 131 federal judges that are active with cases involving financial issues of which they or their families were invested in? It's a crime syndicate in front of everybody's eyes.
You know the saying, Gerald, what's good for the goose, right?
And that's why you're seeing what's good for the goose. That's why you're seeing all of these crimes going on with the smash and grab and everything else. Hey, if they could do it at the top, why can't I do it?
Let's talk about protecting ourselves in 2022. Like I said, you're a top trend forecaster. Every end of year, you put together your trends forecast for the new year. You've already outlined a few here. Doesn't sound good. Is there any silver lining, any opportunity here?
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, life goes on. One of our top trends, again, I look at things for the way they are, not the way I want them to be. This whole metaverse thing, it's real. And it's going to keep going and accelerating in very big ways. There's going to be a lot of entrepreneur opportunities in that, whether it's from healthcare, entertainment, education. The education system we have now is a joke. It was invented by the Prussians during the beginning of the industrial age to get people to read, write, do math, and follow orders. If it was working so well, you'd think we'd be in the crap that we're in. So now with all this online learning and virtual reality, it's going to go to a whole nother level. The public education system, when it was invented in America, was for the poor people. The people that had any kind of means, they were doing it themselves or taking their. Now with this online education, that's going to be one of the biggest entrepreneur opportunities that I see. Why do you have to go to a public school when online now you can get the best teachers and what you want to be taught in? And then again, you look at the data. Here again, this is from last week's, a couple of weeks ago, Wall Street Journal. NYU tops ranks in debt for grad students and parents. So you're getting all this education, going this deep in debt, and for what? So now I can learn to do what I want to do. No, I don't have to show you my diploma. I'll show you what by my deeds you shall know me. So that's going to be a big one. This metaverse thing is going to be very big, and there's going to be a lot of money to be made in it. It's a whole new world. And again, I don't give financial advice. I'm not permitted to. For me, it's GSB, gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And I still believe in them. And to me, again, the crime syndicate, JP Morgan Chase. Oh, at the end of the year, they got another slap on the wrist for doing another dirty deal for a couple of $1 million only, you know. Oh, before that, 2019, $200 million for rigging the gold and silver markets, the precious metals markets. Again, to me, these markets would be much higher. We were talking about before about the lawmakers and the banksters and the judges playing the game.
So gold for you, because there's so much debate now. Oh, gold's not performing the way it should be. It's not the ultimate inflation hedge. But for you, in this current environment, it's still one of the best forms of protection.
For me, yeah. And I buy it and put it away. I buy it and I put it, I don't trade it. I began my career trading gold and silver when the Iranian conflict broke out. And when everybody learned, with being taught to hate Iran, I said, what will the implications be? And I realized that gold and silver would go up, gold and oil. And I started playing gold and oil futures back in the late 70s when no one was playing them. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I parlayed a $5,000 bet into almost $750,000. And that's when I quit my job as the number 2 guy running a major trade association. And I was in DC and Chicago in the day. But I buy it now. I've been buying it and I put it away. I buy it and I put it away. I buy it, I put it away.
Same philosophy for Bitcoin, Joe, because I've been speaking to folks of really dire forecasts for Bitcoin. Oh, it's going to be halved. It's going to go to 20,000. So when you hear that chatter, what do you do with that information?
I say, go to 20,000. Then what is it going to go after that? And again, if you didn't have the cryptocurrency markets, you're looking, what, $3 trillion into cryptocurrencies? That would have been into gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
And again, silver, by the way, the other reason why I like silver is because of all of this talk of climate change, there's going to be more and more solar paneling and more going into that, which you need silver. And we're talking about the metaverse, more and more technology. Silver is used in, it's one of the best conductors of electricity. So that's why I'm bullish on silver.
Yeah.
And gold is a safe haven asset because look what they're doing. Oh, and by the way, I believe that by the summer of 2022, they're going to stop. They're going to start winding down this COVID war big time because they're not going to be able to keep it going anymore because it's going to destroy so many businesses. They're going to have to get tourism going back up. If it doesn't, it's disaster. You take a place like Bali, where they got like 6.3 million visitors a year. Last year, they had 45.
I saw that number, by the way. Insane. But so when you say they have to end this, who's the they for you? Is it government at what level, or is it a deeper state that we don't even know?
Yeah, it's just a crime syndicate, you know, and maybe they'll tell the drug dealers, okay, we sold enough. By the way, Pfizer is doing more and more buyouts of other companies. You know, this is the number 1 drug dealer there with the COVID. And now, according to research, they have $122 billion to invest in buying out other firms. So when they say, okay, you guys made enough money, we got to move on now. We got to give more to the military industrial complex, just like they did in the United States. Did a great job in winning the Iraq war. Mission accomplished.
Here.
Oh, how about Afghanistan? Terrific. 20 years. And they just passed a defense budget for $778 billion. How stupid, blind, moronic can you be not to see? It's the banksters, it's the drug dealers, it's the military industrial complex and big tech that's running the show.
And I urge everyone to check out the latest edition of the Trends Journal, where you go in depth about all your trends for 2022, Gerald. I want to let you know, as you know, I'm in Canada for the holidays. And if you're able to cross the border and come visit me, I have the panettone ready for you. I have the chestnuts roasting for you. I know you say they took all the fun out, but if you want to come pay us a visit, we're here.
Thank you.
If we're allowed to socialize, I don't know. By the time this airs, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Well,
No, I can't go. I'm supposed to do a gig in Calgary Vancouver rather in January, and I'm not vaccinated, so I can't go over the border.
Gerald Celente, I wish you a wonderful new year. Whatever comes our way, my friend, whatever comes our way.
Thank you. And I wish you and everyone a happy new year, and that we bring joy and liberty, love and freedom, peace and justice back to earth. I mean, it is Christmas time to celebrate, what it's really all about, and to bring that back into the spirit. There was a thing called the Declaration of Independence: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Happiness? Why? How dare you talk about happiness? Get back in your house.
Gerald Celente, it's always a pleasure. You're always welcome. Come on anytime.
Thank you so much for having me.
And to all our viewers watching, thank you so much for your support throughout the entire year. Can't do it without you. Can't thank you enough. So happy New Year. Happy 2022. May be filled with love, laughter, and above all else, health. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to StansberryInvestor.com. Our outlook continues into 2022, and you can sign up for Premier Access at DanielaCambone.com. Thanks for watching.
Opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the contributor and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Stansberry Research, its parent company, or affiliates.